Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. This is primarily a drone show. We'll be sharing adventures from all over the world. We hope to have interesting guests every week, and we're glad that you tuned in tonight. We'll be flying different drones in different locations. We encourage viewer participation in the chat. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Every week we'll have another interesting guest. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We'll be sharing various adventures by our guests as well as myself. And thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. It's Thursday night, and another week has passed, as they say. And I'll tell you, I've had a terrible week. As I know a lot of you know from my Facebook posts, we had a 70-foot tree fall down and crush our cars. Actually, it totaled my wife's Mercedes, and then it caused 5,000 plus damage to my new car, my Santa Fe, and it was terrible. It hit the house, damaged the roof. But one thing that was good is the insurance company, when I made the claim, they immediately sent the drone pilot. It happened Thursday in the early morning hours, 1:04 a.m. And on Friday, they had sent the drone pilot to assess the damage to my house. And that was pretty cool, I thought. He ended up coming with a Mini 3 Pro. He did a nice little flight over my house. I don't know how many photos he took, but he took quite a few photos of the damage. And I got to know him. I know him, actually. It's a gentleman pilot who's in the Long Island Drone Flyers group. And we had, made comments on each other's photos in the past. And I finally got to meet the guy, and he's a nice guy. So, but anyway, I got a great show lined up. If you saw the Facebook promo post and YouTube, it's Greg Reverde of Pilot Institute, and Greg is such a great guy. He's very knowledgeable, obviously, and his Part 107 course is the best. At least that's how I look at it, and I've learned so much taking it. So I really encourage everybody in the chat, if you're thinking about taking it, you go to Pilot Institute, pilotinstitute.com. But he's going to talk about it when he comes in here. He's in the back room enjoying the ship and lobster. And I tell you, I'm humbled every week, when I come in and I see the people in the chat already. People come in early. I had put the wrong time up on the post. I said it was going to start at 6, and then everybody knows it starts at 7. But I appreciate it. I appreciate that you tune in every week, and you take the time to watch my show and the Fly for Fun show, which is on every other Wednesday now. And I got to say thank you. Really, thank you. But anyway, I know Brian, Waypoint, New England, he was number 1 today. He checked in because he thought the time was 6 p.m. And always good to see Brian and Ron, RJ Ariels. He was right behind him. And then we had Chad, Windwalker Drones. He's watching up in Pennsylvania. And Joe, Jaybird Drone. And he's watching in Ohio. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you. And I know I saw Alan. He's watching all the way in Ireland, and that still amazes me that we can reach people all over the world doing these live streams. So how you doing, Alan? I love your videos. You know that. And we got Michael Wright watching. How you doing, Michael? Texas Arch Drone Guy. He's down in Texas. I always enjoy flying with Michael. He comes to the South Florida Drone Meetup. He's been to every one of them so far, and I I really enjoy flying with Michael. He's such a great guy. And we got Bob Casey in the house too. How you doing, Bob? Good to see you. And Bob was again. He made quite a few South Florida drone meetups, but he sponsors it. And as the people who have attended know, he makes these beautiful custom made wooden American flags. And Bob has agreed to donate another one for next year's South Florida drone meetup. So I got to say thank you to Bob. Really, it means a lot, Bob. It does. And your work is incredible. Um, but then again, I saw, let's see, who else was in the chat early? I know it takes time to do this, but it's important that I acknowledge the people that watch the live stream. And I really appreciate it. And I know I saw Ronnie, God bless America. I thought I saw him. How you doing, Ronnie? And Ronnie's another sponsor of the South Florida Drone Meetup. He makes a Betsy Ross custom made wooden American flag. And he has agreed to donate another one for the fifth annual South Florida Drone Meetup. So thank you to Ronnie. And I know I saw John, Flying Flynn Media. How you doing, John? Good to see you. And I look forward to seeing you again. You and Colleen, your wife, because you bring her, and she even flies at the South Florida Drone Meetup. And I thought that was great. So before you know it, it'll be here. But anyway, I saw Captain Joe. How you doing, Captain Joe? He's watching down in Louisiana. And I tell you, I think Captain Joe puts up probably the most amount of videos because he's putting them out just about every day, every other day. He's out there flying and he edits his videos and he posts them, and that's great. And we got Dominic watching. He's watching down in Australia, Northside Hawk. How you doing? Good to see you, Dominic. And John K is watching. Good to see you, John K. And we got Paul Brown. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you. And all right, so you're out with the family. That's okay. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping in. Enjoy your time with your family. Yep. And we got Mio Drones. How you doing? ¿Cómo está? Muy bien. And good to see you. And we got Lisa. How you doing, Lisa? Good to see you. And let's see. I'm going to get back to the name shortly because Greg's in the back room, and I don't want to leave him back there too long. But remember, if you have any questions for Greg, put them in the chat. We'll keep an eye out for them. And I know you're going to enjoy him because he's one of our best guests that we have on our live stream. So please give a warm welcome to Greg from Pilot Institute. And he's coming to us all the way from Arizona. How you doing, Greg?
What's going on?
I tell you, good to see you. I love your set, your studio. Really, it looks very professional, and it is professional.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's actually, this is one of the set. We have a new one that we created right around the corner over there that we've been using in our community. So one of the two sets that we have right now.
Yeah, I know. And you got some big news too, right? You're going to be able to share the news where you, okay. I'm going to turn it over to you, Greg, because I know you're busy and you took the time out to be on the show and we really appreciate it. So what's the big news that you have for us?
We're going to be moving. So we have I'm actually waiting for an email right now, basically telling me that it's final and we're officially the new owner of a building. So we've been renting for the last 3 years now in this location where we are. And we've been growing, so we need a new place, and we've been looking. It's been difficult to find something local around here that kind of meets our needs as far as the size of the building, and then as far as the layout of the building. We need a lot of open space, but we finally found one about 45 days ago, and we put an offer on it right away as soon as we saw it, because real estate is very difficult to get around here. And then we finally got it. So I'm waiting for basically one more official email from the title company that says that the building is in our name. But we signed all of the documents yesterday, and it should be all official as we talk, which is pretty exciting.
Congratulations. Yeah, no, that's big news, really. And it's going to be a bigger and larger studio, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, actually, 3 times the size of what we have right now. So we've grown over the years to kind of outgrow this building. It's kind of feels like it's filled up to the seams right now. So it's we'll have more space to grow and grow the business as well. We have other ideas of things that we want to offer to people on the airplane side, but also on the drone side. So we'll be able to have more room. We'll have a full classroom available in that new building. Actually, 2 classrooms available, and then just a bigger studio. We'll have 3 full sets now. We'll have a bigger green screen that we've been using for a lot of things. So there's a ton of cool opportunities coming up. But we'll be posting some of that information online and kind of showing you what the building looks like right now, which is interesting. It used to be a concert hall, so it's going to go from a concert hall to being a big studio.
Oh wow.
And yeah, we'll be posting a lot of pictures. There's some work that needs to be done, so it's going to take a few months before we can move in there. We're thinking around October we'll be able to move in. So it's exciting, super exciting.
Yeah, yeah, big. That's a big thing, really. I'm excited for you, really. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Michael, that you had some damage. I know you went through some bad weather too with the tornadoes, so hopefully you get all straightened out there. But the most important thing, nobody was injured. So it's crazy weather, isn't it, Greg? Really?
It's everywhere. It feels like you hear all these unusual events, weather events, and there's more and more of them.
I know, I know. Interferes with your flying time too.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, we're
But you
we're getting
know,
ready to get the hot weather here, so it's
yeah,
like in the 90s, which is hot for us.
yeah. But you know, it's not that it was good that I was able to fly my drone during this tree damage that I had. You know, but it was very depressing when I came out at 104 in the morning and found a 70-foot tree on our car
Oh, I bet that's
and our house. But excuse me, the next day I said I got to send the drone up, so I did, and I just want to show a little bit of that video right now, really.
please do. Yeah,
And then we're going to talk more about Pilot Institute, and really, it's one of those things where I don't just say it. I really think Pilot Institute is the best course for your Part 107. So
well,
we'll
thank
get
you.
into that shortly. But anyway, guys, this is it. I was flying my Mavic 3 the next day, and I I couldn't believe it, really. But they had such a crew there, and in 2 seconds, I'll be sending up the drone and getting some aerial shots. But if you ever watch these guys take down a big tree, it's pretty interesting to say the least. And then they got this machinery where, well, that's the damage to my wife's Mercedes, and I had to show that.
Wow.
But believe it or not, the fact that the roof was collapsed or damaged, and the side panels and everything, the dashboard, they ended up totaling it, believe it or not. But there's the Mavic 3 up, getting some aerial shots of some of the work that was being done. They had a bobcat and they were pulling the big branches away. And I had told PK Tree Service that I'd be showing a little bit of this video tonight too. They did a great job, really. So I hope nobody ever goes through something like this. But if you do, at least you get an opportunity to fly your drone afterwards. So, but that's it. I just do a little flyover right there, and that's enough of that. But we want to talk about Pilot Institute and maybe your Part 107 course, and then anything else you want to talk about, Greg. So tell us about that. How is that working out? And I know you got
Oh,
another important
a big
landmark that
milestone.
yeah, milestone,
Yep.
landmark, milestone. Tell us.
Yep. In the next few days, we should be hitting 100,000 remote pilots trained with that course. So it's a big milestone. As far as I know, we're the only ones that are anywhere near that number in the country right now. And at the same time, we're about to hit 100,000 on our YouTube channel as followers as well, which is also a big
Wow.
milestone. So
It is.
it's
Congrats.
yeah, it's been several years working hard at this, and creating content that people want to watch and get educated on. So the course, like you said, has been amazing. We get a lot of really good feedback. The pass rate has been through the roof. I think we've had like 20 failures since we started with this course, and most of these people actually that fail just usually don't watch the entire course. So that makes me feel good that the course in general, if you pass the course and if you watch, there's no reason why you should fail. So that's our biggest selling item, actually, I would say.
Yeah, right, right. No, it's a great course. But anyway, we got a first question from Jack. I mean, Scott, Jack Rabbit FPV. So, Greg, do you want to read it or you want me to read it?
Yeah, I can read it. Do we have
Yeah.
a course on how to apply for OOP waiver, Operation Over People? Yes, we do actually. We have a course on waivers in general, waivers made easy. And then you can find that on the website on pilotinstitute.com. We explain more than just the OOP waiver, because that's one of them. We explain how to get beyond visual line of sight waivers, how to get airspace approval. In general, we explain how to submit waivers, which is it takes a little bit of expertise to do that, because the FAA website is not the easiest to navigate. So we walk you through this. We have ourselves a lot of waivers. We have an OOP waiver, Operation Over People waiver. We got it after the FAA made these recent changes. It's been in the system for several months now. We've been going back and forth. We've also been talking with the FAA about this OOP waiver and the changes they've been making. So we've been helping the FAA trying to figure out how to make this easier. We're great. Um, we see what people ask. We have so many students now that we get a good feel of what students want to do with their drones and how they operate their drones. So we have the ability to relay that information to the FAA, and they actually seem to be listening. So that's a great position to be in. As I'm not going to say a consultant to the FAA, because that would be that's too much. But they have our ears, and I know Vic,
Good.
was on the show yesterday. Vic does the
Yeah.
same thing, and Vic and I, we talk a lot, and then we go in meetings together with the FAA to talk about these things. So the waiver process is getting easier, which is a really good thing. And I think there's more coming up. I can't talk about what the details are at the moment, but I think the FAA is going to be announcing some changes in the next few
Okay.
months to other waivers to make them easier as well. So that's exciting.
Good, good. I'll tell you, we get that's good, and glad to hear that. But we got another question from Paul Brown. What's your bait? How you doing? You want to read that one? Or?
Yeah, I'll read that one. With the DJI ban gaining steam, there's a real threat happening here to the hobby, and I agree with that. What steps are being taken by Pilot Institute to help combat this? Several things that we're doing. We're working actively with DAA. I'm on the board of the Drone Advocacy Alliance. I'm on one of the four founding members of the DAA. And I know people say, well, it's backed by DJI, and the DJI is on the board. DJI is not on the board. There's four of us that own four different UAS companies here in the country, and we make those push to help people have a way to contact their representatives out there. So that's one thing that we do. So working with DAA, which I think is very important. This process is complicated. When there's a bill that shows up,
Right.
people don't always understand how bills happen, and myself first. I mean, I've educated myself over the years, but I understand that it's a difficult process. So we try to make this as simple as possible for people to take action and make their voices heard with the elected officials. So that's what DAA does. We have meetings scheduled with our local um, senators. There's two senators here in Arizona. We are getting meetings with them to talk about this specific bill that is being proposed, to ask them to go against it. So and of course, we're using our followers as well and educating them to push them to send messages. And then this has been working. I know we've been getting thousands and thousands of emails sent to representatives all over the country, and it's helping. I think it's helping. Seeing the response from some of the politicians, I can tell it's working.
Yeah. No, no. I know. I reached out. I sent a message, an email to the representative, Elise.
Mhm.
But I didn't receive a response, and I did it again last night on the show, and hopefully they'll respond this time. and I'm
Yep.
going to actually call. I was going to do it today, but I didn't have enough time. I was very busy, and I didn't have time to call my senator. To So I hope to do that tomorrow, Greg.
It
But
literally
anyway,
takes minutes to do it. Go to the DA website and read the information is there. If you agree that this is something that needs to be fought, then go over there. I don't want to push people to submit something if they don't agree that this bill is not good. I'm not. This is not my goal. My goal is to, if you don't agree with it, to show you how you can reach someone and let them know. And it takes literally only minutes to do it. Put your zip code,
right.
and then they'll be able to send a message on your behalf right away.
Well, I know Paul. Paul contacted his local representative, and he had a long telephone call with him, and he listened to
Good.
what Paul had to say. So that was good.
Yep.
So, but I got to say this, Greg. I got to personally thank you because you are our number one sponsor at the South Florida Drone Meetup. You've been sponsoring it from day one, and we really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you,
Happy
thank
to
you.
do that. Happy to do that.
And I have great news. Greg just agreed he's going to sponsor the fifth annual South Florida Drone Meetup. So thank you again,
Absolutely.
Greg. Yeah. Um, and for those that don't know, the information will be scrolling along the bottom there. We're going to have our fifth annual South Florida Drone Meetup on April 4th to the 7th, 2025 at the Jensen Beach Causeway Park again in Jensen Beach, Florida. And it's free to attend. But if you come and let me know, I'll add you to the list. Believe it or not, we have 96 pilots and their families signed up already for that meetup. And that's great. So just let us know. We'll add you to the list or just show up. So, and we encourage you to bring children, get them involved in flying drones.
Yep.
And my saying, let's get kids hooked on drones, not drugs. So, so,
Well, once they fly drones, they won't have any money for drugs, so that's a good thing.
so, Greg, do you know when Sun and Fun is going to be next year? I guess you'll be
No, I
there.
haven't looked. I haven't looked at the date, but that's looking at the date. That's right around. It's going to be either before or after, because it's right around the first or second week of April.
Yeah,
But we'll
usually.
find the dates. We're going to be flying this year. We're going to be flying our airplane over there.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, we couldn't do it this year because the booth next to us was taken by somebody else, but we were able to snag it next year. So we'll have our tent and the airplane right next to it. So depending on the timing, we might be able to stop by. I can't promise because it's always around the same time because we
I
have to
know.
set up the booth on that Sunday for the show. So it's always a bit of a rush to get there, get everything set up. But we're getting better at setting up. This is going to be our third year over there. So hopefully we can make it happen. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, that would be great to have you there in person. I'd love to meet you. But anyway, you never know. I might be going out to Vegas, and I understand you're going to be at the commercial UAV
Yep.
um, event in September, right? That's in September,
That's in September. Yeah, middle
right?
middle of September. I don't remember the exact dates, but yeah, we'll be there. We have a big booth over there. Our 20 by 20 booth is already set up. We're actually right next to DJI, which is really cool. And then we're going to be at the. There's also an event, the drone. There's a drone meetup in Vegas as well. That's
Right.
scheduled for I
I
think a
know.
little bit after that.
Yes,
So we'll be at that event as well because it's in our backyard, and by all means, it's only a 4-hour drive from where we are, so
okay.
it's
You're
it's
close.
nice and easy for us. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very close. And then,
yeah.
but yeah, if you're going to be there, we actually have Vic and I have been able to get a time slot from the folks at Commercial UAV to put on an event for drone pilots. So these trade shows usually have a lot of information for people that are already established in the industry. They're
Right,
usually pretty technical. We were able to get something for beginner pilots that is going to be out there. So we'll be talking about regulation. We'll be talking about mapping introduction. We'll be talking about airspace and all the things that pilots need to know about to be safer. And that happens on the Tuesday. I don't remember the exact time, but we'll
right.
definitely be advertising all of that when it comes closer. So if anybody's making the trip, make sure you stop by, say hi to myself, to Vic, Jared Janasek is going to be there as well. We have a few people lined up that are going to be making these presentations.
That's great. That's great. But anyway, we got another question because we got Marcus from Idaho Quadcopter watching, and he's got a question for you. Does Greg
I
have
see
any
that.
news on beyond visual line of sight approval for Part 107 pilots?
So the news that I have is that the FAA seems like they've been unplugging the delays that they've been having with approving waivers, and so we had a bunch of waivers in the pipeline, and all of a sudden it seems like they're all coming out. So we got our BV loss waiver a couple days ago. I saw somebody posting today that they got their BV loss waivers as well. And then what I'm hearing from the FAA is that in the last week, that was a week ago, they told me that in a week they approved more waivers than they did in the last 5 months.
Really?
And so they're finally going through that backlog that they had. As far as changing to the regulation on BV loss, the FAA just got their Reauthorization Act approved, right? I'm sure you've seen the
Yeah.
news online. And
Right.
in that act, they are mandated to come up with a notice of proposed rulemaking in 4 months, 4 or 5 months. It's FAA months, so we never know how long it's going to be in
Hmm.
terms of conversion to
Yeah.
real months. But I'm going to guess probably around the end of the year or early next year, we'll be having a notice of proposed rulemaking on new rules to fly beyond visual line of sight. So
That's good.
that's good. It's good news. We don't know what those rules are going to be at the moment. I don't think anybody, unless they work at the FAA, really knows. But we have some hints as to what they want to do. They want to make it easier, I think. They want to give a pathway that's going to be easier to get than getting a waiver. So we'll keep our eyes open. We'll definitely be covering all of that on our channel, and I'm happy to come back, when we have more information and talk about that. But yeah, it's good news. It's there will be changes to beyond visual line of sight flying, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. And it looks like Michael looked it up for you when Sun and Fun's going to be the week prior to the South Florida drone meetup.
The week before. Okay.
All
So
right.
yeah, we'll
Good.
be out again because Saturday, Sunday we're still gonna be at the show while you guys are having your meetup. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I was kicking myself because I knew Michael was going up after the South Florida drone meetup to meet you and visit you at the Sun and Fun, and I kicked myself I didn't go with them. I should have went with them.
Oh yeah,
I-
it's not that far of a drive actually from South Florida.
yeah. Okay. Greg, Tom's got some information. If he wants you to help, he let him know. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Tom is awesome. So Tom came to visit us here in the studio. So I think Tom, you're gonna have to come back to the new studio once it's ready.
Yeah. And that Vegas drone meetup, I think is going to be very successful. It really is. I think so.
Oh yeah,
They were
yeah. Bob is
talking
putting that
about it
on.
on Drone Nation,
Yep.
and they gave us all the information, and they're going to be on my show next week to talk more about that. So,
Awesome.
but anyway, hey Jordy, how you doing? And ProCut, how you doing? We got a lot of new faces in the chat, so um, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you have any questions for Greg, put them in the chat, and we'll try to get Greg to answer them. He's obviously very knowledgeable. So, Greg, do you fly for fun at all? I know in the past you had said yes.
Yeah. Oh, I still do. I still do. I fly both drones and airplanes for fun. So yes, I still do as much as I can. I've got kids that are getting at the age now where they're getting a bit more interested and they're a bit more cognizant of being able to fly the drone. So I'm going to be flying with them a little bit more as they get older. My oldest is almost 6 now, so he's ready for that. I take the drones up once in a while on the weekend with them, and they're just in awe. So right now they have
Oh yeah,
these little parachute with little guys underneath it. So we're gonna go in the
yeah.
next few weeks and attach them to the drone, and then have a dropper, and then just drop them from a few 100 feet, and then have them come down. It'd be exciting. But
That's
yeah, I
great.
try as much as I can to do that.
Good. Anyway, Paul has another question for you, Greg.
Yeah, it says your job seems more like a lifestyle than a job. Yes, absolutely. Something that consumes your life. Could you share something that you do for fun, alone, and for recreation? It is like a lifestyle. I've been around aviation my whole life, and I went into aviation because I loved it. So at one point, it just becomes your hobby as well as the thing that you do on the weekend. Um, for a long time, because the company was still starting, I put a lot of hours getting, working on the company. It's a bit
Yeah.
easier now, and I have, do work with the family and spend time with the family on the weekend. I've got 3 kids, and so that takes a lot of my hours. Things I like to do on the side: exercising. I've been going back to swimming lately, and now that the weather is better outside, I'm going to go back to running. I used to be a very avid runner before Pilot Institute and early on during Pilot Institute, and having kids and a new business kind of put that to the side, but it's getting
Yeah.
to the point now where I can do that again. So I love woodworking as well in my garage and doing things. So those are the things that I do at home.
Yeah. No, that's good. Good question. Good question. Um, Let me see. I got one of your videos queued up, Greg, and it was a Nevada flying video. And maybe you want to talk about this. You don't mind me showing your Nevada 2 range
Oh
test.
yeah. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I found it interesting.
Two.
So
That's right. You'll be flying beyond visual line of sight. Right. We can't do that. Yeah, we can. No. Under Part 107, you have to maintain V loss. You know who told me that? You did. In the Part 107 course. And it's going to be a perfect legal flight. Who approved it? Jason. 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 Ray has finally lost. You hear what he's
Yeah, so we flew we flew beyond visual line of sight. We have a waiver available to fly at a very specific place here in Arizona,
Well,
and
let's get on our
we have
way.
an
So I'm
11-mile
actually
stretch that we
using
can
the magic
fly the
wand, the
drones.
Harry Potter
We
controller.
do need to have somebody that follows the drone, so we have a little jeep
yep.
that is going to
We want
follow
to
that
make
drone
sure that we get the maximum battery.
along the
As
way as
per
they
the
go.
manual,
And
this is how we would
yeah,
do
we
it.
were able to
Here
get, I
on
think,
top
4
of
and
this
something
hill,
miles.
and
Ben,
the
do you
reason we're
remember
on
the
top of
exact
this
number
hill
that we
right here is
flew with the
because we
Avata?
have, don't tell
Four
Ben,
point
but we have a
4.2
hidden rock
miles, and that's the
Okay.
battery died
Wow.
at 4.2
Yeah.
miles.
beyond visual line
It
of
wasn't
sight
even
all the
line of
way right here
sight
in this
issue.
area.
The
And
the
as long as
I
we
was so
follow a
impressed
couple
with the
things,
quality of the feed as
Jason
we
is
were
next to
going
me right now.
past.
He's going to just
We can
observe it as we
fly
would for a
as far as like
normal
6 miles, I
flight
think, from
with
where we were
the other
flying
drone.
in that
But
corridor
right
that
here
we
in
have
that little
approved by the
valley, we
FAA.
actually have
And
Really?
we
other teams.
were
We have Ethan
getting
and
close to
Jack
the
that
edge where
are
we
on
would
the
have
jeep.
had to
We're going to
stop
meet
because
with
our
them
approval
right now.
stopped in that
And
area.
they're going to
So
be our
it was
Okay.
it
allies
was a good
as
experience.
we
We did it
do this
twice, and we
journey
went
on this
twice pretty
long
much the
road right
same
here in the
the
middle
same
of nowhere,
distance, and
Arizona.
that's impressive.
Well, I tell you, your videos are
Now let's
so
see how far we go.
professional.
We're already
Really,
at
I love
1,800
them.
feet,
Well,
which, by the way,
thank you.
we
Well, we
have
have
this
a
drone
big
right
team
here.
that
They
helps with
have
all
visual
of
line of
this.
sight over
There
there.
is
We have visual
always
line of
several
sight over
people
here,
behind
and
the
we
scene
keep
that help
right at
with
the edge
filming and editing
of visual line
and
of sight.
preparing everything.
And
So
so
it's more than
from
just
here,
me,
let's see what happens. The
doing
jeep
all
is
of
Yep.
right
that.
here behind the tree. You can see it on the right side.
But this is
They're
cool.
going,
Really.
yeah, they're going to
That's
follow
Where
us.
that's
you
our
got.
mini Jeep right
How far
here.
we can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Almost
Right. Right.
300 feet. We saw
You don't see a
full
video like this too often.
image
Really.
quality.
No, and it's all legal. We try to do
It's
everything
really great.
legally to
It
show
really lost
people that
its
it can be done
its color
legally and
there.
safely.
Kind of
So
crazy. So I'm going
this
to
was
stay on the
definitely a
left
safe
side.
flight done right there.
There's a car coming
Hey,
onto the road
Dana
right here.
and
Big sleek
Don, how you doing?
box truck. So I'm going to stay right there. We also
Somebody is
included
asking,
my favorite
Tom is
feature,
asking what kind of
which is
Jeep it was. This is a mini Jeep that we
one of the
bought here
magic features.
locally. And
This
that
is
mini
going to be a
Jeep is
maximum stop right
it's
there.
a
That's the one way that we're
50cc
going to do
engine
it.
on it. It's a
And
gas
my
powered.
altitude
It's
fluctuating
actually street legal. It
going
has a
towards the left
title
hand
and
is going to
everything,
actually
Oh,
so we
decrease.
could
really?
put a license plate on it.
So
And
we'll
yeah,
be going
and it will go. I
super
don't know how
in
fast
negative
Ethan was going
numbers.
when he was following, but
What I'm going to do is I'm going to
Ethan is
select the
right
feature
here
to let you
for
know
40 miles an hour.
RCC
30
mode,
miles an hour,
and
flying in there.
HD,
And
which
and
is
you have if you have
heavy.
two
In
small
order
people,
to
you can
receive
definitely
a
put them on there.
40,
Two bigger
50
people would be
pitch
harder.
range
But
as
yeah,
we
we love
go,
it.
and
We use
then
it especially for
I'm
this. We
sure it's
use it
going to
to actually
drop.
tug our
And then
airplane into
every
the
once in a
hangar as
while,
well.
our waiver says that we
It's a
have
neat little
to
toy. We
upgrade
bring
the
it to trade
endpoint,
shows sometimes if we
which
can.
makes
So
sense
it's
because if
Yeah,
it's
something
very,
fun.
happens, we
very
don't have to
cool.
go
Well, I
put
thought
it back
this
right
was
there.
a
But come back
cool,
to us.
cool video,
Don't worry,
really.
we'll get
So,
you to do that.
and if
Here's
you
my
guys aren't subscribed to Pilot Institute on YouTube, do it now. Do it now before you forget.
Get us to 100,000. We're almost there.
Yeah. So, um, but as far as flying for fun, what is the Avata 2 your favorite drone now?
um,
Well, which is your
It is,
favorite?
it is, it is a fun drone. I don't know if I can pick a favorite. This is like having a favorite child. I don't think you can do that. It all depends. Well, you can have a favorite child, I guess.
Mm.
No, it all depends on what you want to do. The Avata is fun because of the FPV factor, obviously. The Air 3, I think, is still one of the best value out there
Mhm.
for for the buck. The Air 3 gets you the 2 cameras, a
Right.
really decent sensor. The image quality is amazing. If I had to travel anywhere, I haven't traveled personally in like 2 years now, but this is what I would take. I would take the Air 3 with me with that RC controller, the little gray one that has the screen in it, the RC2. And I
Yeah.
mean, in seconds you can be up in the air. You can do whatever you want. It's just the right size, and the image quality is awesome. So
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
my pick, I think, at the moment.
I've seen people flying it, and it does look like a very, very good drone. It really does. My favorite is the Mavic 3, of course, and
Yes.
I have it out in my car right now because I flew it yesterday. Um, but the only drone I have here is this new Mini 4K.
Oh
And I
yeah.
don't I don't know why I bought it because I didn't need it, but I figured 299. Why not get it? So
It's not about needing it, Bob. It's not
yeah,
about needing it. Yeah, right. It's about just having another drone.
exactly, exactly. So, but anyway, and that, Greg, I have a little format, and I just talk about a tip of the week. I don't come across as an expert or nothing like that, but this week's tip is simple. Always do a site survey before you take off,
Agreed.
and the area you're flying in. Look for those trees, look for those wires because you never know. They'll spoil your day sometimes. Or birds,
Oh
even
yeah.
a flock of birds, if there's a flock of birds around. So do you have any tips, Greg?
Um, I do like this one. This is definitely a great tip. I would say check out your airspace. Make sure that there's nothing around you like an airport. Sometimes if you travel to a place that you're not super familiar with, just pull out your app, whether it's Airware, Air Control, whatever you want to use, your favorite app, and just look around and see, make sure that you're not in a restricted area to fly. That can get you in trouble. But
Right.
otherwise, I do like yours. And then check the weather as well.
Yep. Yep. UAV forecast or air data.
Yep.
That's what I use anyway. So I'm trying to keep an eye out on the questions, and I don't think I missed any. I missed a couple in the beginning, but if you have any questions for Greg, ask. Yeah, I flew with Angel. Angel has the Air 3, and Angel is a great, great drone pilot. I don't know if you know him. He's from New Jersey.
I know Angel. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's taking the part your course. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure right
We've
now.
talked
So
we've talked somewhere on one of the
yeah,
shows a while back. So yeah,
yep. And he'll be one of your Part 107 pilots very shortly. He's
that's
such a
awesome.
great guy. He came out last weekend to the Hamptons. We flew in the Hamptons. I don't know if you're familiar with that
Oh,
area.
I am. Yeah.
And we flew at Shinnecock Inlet, which is right on the ocean and the bay. And we got a great flight in. He brought his family. I met his wife and his kids, and that was nice. But we got a couple of nice flights in out there.
That's cool.
So, and yep, Dana, what's she saying about a site survey? No, which way? Yep, gate will open, not open. I had to climb barn door. Get, yep, okay.
I see a question from Bob Casey. Says, "How's the state Facebook groups doing?" So, for
Hmm.
those of you that don't know, we have 50 Facebook groups, one for each state, and
Oh,
they're all
okay.
public. Yeah, we did that to allow people to have a place to meet. And I know there's other groups as well that are state, and we're not trying to compete. We're just trying to make sure that people have a place to go and talk about drones. We also, and so those are doing really good. And we have our community, a new community page that we released ourselves, which is outside of Facebook. It's more organized than a Facebook group. It's more like a forum. If you're familiar with the Mavic forum,
Right.
it's more
Yep.
like this, but it's for our students specifically. We just hit 30,000 people in those groups. It's been
Okay.
really, really active. We actually have a full-time person that's managing those groups and making sure that the conversation is great. We're about to release more content for that. We have community specific content over there that we offer that we don't offer anywhere else. We have a live that we do every Friday. That's a bit more of a live where you can come on stage to talk with me if you want to, and
Oh, really?
things that we can't really do otherwise on Facebook. It's not always easy, or even on YouTube. So it's more laid back, and we talk about everything and anything. So if you have questions, even that are not drone related, we talk about those as well. So
Uh,
it's every Friday at 4 p.m. my time, which is 7 p.m. same as
Right.
your show right now.
That's great. That's great. Dana had a question about how long after the WA committee meets before the bill may go before the full Senate.
Ooh, it's going to be a while. So
Good question.
I don't know. I don't know the exact timeline, quite frankly. But it might be a while because we're about to go into the summer break for them, and then after that it's going to be election time. So they're going to be pretty busy with other things. I hope, in a sense, I hope they can take a break and step away from this for a while and give us a breather so we can actually do our job instead of trying to follow every bill that's out there that's trying to destroy the industry. It's been
Yeah.
a lot, quite frankly, to keep track of everything.
Yeah. Yep. I
I,
know.
I saw there was a question earlier about what was my first drone as well. My first drone was the Phantom One. So I bought the
Yep.
Phantom One in 2014, and then flew that quite a bit around, and then eventually sold it. And then I don't remember what the second one was after that. But yeah, Phantom One with a GoPro on it and no
Yep.
stabilization. Eventually, I bought a little cheap Chinese gimbal to put on it so I could put my GoPro on the gimbal. You couldn't see really what you were filming because there was no feed coming back from the drone. I don't even know if it had a GPS. We bought one. I don't even know where it is, but we bought an old Phantom One that we just bought it on eBay, and we're going to do a review pretty soon here of what a Phantom One feels like when you're in 2024 and how it actually flies. So do you have one right there?
Yeah. Well, this is my first drone. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Oh, it's okay.
A spy striker.
Yep.
But this
Gotta
drone,
start
Greg,
somewhere.
I tell you, I had such a hard time keeping this thing in the air. It had such a mind of its own, and I gave up drones after that for about 3 years, and then finally I got a Phantom 4.
Something that
So
was more, yeah. Once you get
yeah,
into the GPS world, GPS drone, it's definitely a lot easier to fly all those.
yeah. Hey, John, Connecticut Pirate, good to see you. And Tom, yeah, if you get to New York, let me know, and I'll definitely tell you some spots. But we'll get together maybe if you have time. I know you'd probably be busy, but uh, so that's good. Tom's coming to New York. Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I myself I like DJI drones. I think they're the best, and I I don't know how you feel. What do you think?
Oh, I like DJI drones. I still think they're the best offer on the market at the moment. It's hard to find anything that comes close to it. It's also hard to find consumer drones these days that from anybody that are reliable. I see a question about Holly Stone. They're there, but I think they're nowhere near what DJI is offering at the moment. So I'd love
Yeah.
to see more competition, quite frankly. I think the
Yes.
more we see competition, the better products we're going to get. Competition is good for us as consumers. So hopefully we can see more people getting into the market and competing with DJI. It'd be good. DJI needs competition.
Exactly. I feel the same way there. That's for sure.
Yep.
I really thought Autel was going to do it. A few years back when Randall was the CEO, and
Yep.
but that was short lived.
Yep.
And but you never know. You never know what's going to happen with Anzu now. What do you think about Anzu? You familiar with that?
Oh yeah, I spent quite a bit of time with Randall. We actually had a exclusive interview the day that he released the idea.
Hmm.
So that was pretty cool talking to him. I think it's quite a revolution the way that he thought about this process. To get the drone from DJI and then make it more of a drone that's more Americanized, if we can call it that, an Americanized DJI. I think it's got a fit in this market. I think the idea of doing this is going to have is going to be copied, hopefully, by somebody else on the
Yep.
consumer side.
Yep.
If we can get a Mavic 3, an Air 3, and maybe
Exactly.
a mini series that is the same way, then that could be the answer to what is going on right now with this proposed DJI ban. Hopefully, we don't ever have to get there, but you also always have to be ready.
Right. Right. I think it was a smart move on their part. Really.
Yep.
So I wish Randall and Anzu all the best. I really do.
Same here. Same here. He's a great guy in general. Randall is a great person who's been around the industry for a long time. Spent a lot of time talking to him online. Met him a couple times at trade shows, and he's just a great dude all around. So I wish him a lot of success for sure.
Yes, he is. You know. I tell you, the questions are coming. Oh, so Tom's coming to attend his granddaughter's graduation. I got you. Okay. Tell her
Nice.
congratulations, Tom, please. And yeah, I'd love to get together with you, Tom. So, um, yeah, I'm not good at reading the questions, Greg. So I know you were picking them out too. So I apologize.
Yeah, I have my feed
Um,
right here. I'm keeping an eye to see if there is anything that pops up.
yeah,
We
and
do have
we got just to let you know, Greg. We got Steve Jen this in the chat, Vermont Views. And he was a big sponsor of our South Florida Drone Meetup last year.
awesome.
He brought down all kind, 50 bottles, if I remember right, 50 bottles of Vermont maple syrup. So they were some of the raffle prizes, and
That's the good
Steve
stuff.
agreed to double it for next year. So we're looking
Everybody
forward
gets
to
a
that.
bottle. That's
Thank
cool.
you.
That's really
Thank
cool.
you. Yeah. But, and I, uh, I get so excited about the South Florida Drone Meetup. We never thought it would be this successful. We really didn't. Me, Maddie, and Ken Huffbauer, and a old guy with a drone, Mitch. We came up with the idea. We figured we'd have 10 people at that first one,
Oh
and there were
wow.
over 50, and it has grown to over 160 now. So,
Oh, you're gonna have 500 before you know it. I hope.
well, I don't know if we can handle 500.
I have to find a bigger place.
But we had a great time last year, really. And you know what was great, Greg, is there were no casualties. We did not lose any drones into the intercoastal waterway.
That's always a good thing.
Yes, yes. And we do that little most drones in the sky contest that we have. And I
Oh
know
yeah,
28 drones doesn't seem like a lot, but as compared to last year, we more than doubled it. So that was fun. And that's fun to do,
that's cool.
coordinate
Yeah.
everybody flying together again with no casualties. So
I was gonna say, make sure nobody hits anybody. That's always a good thing.
So one other question, and I know you've been on the show before, so we ask about your favorite place or some place where you'd love to fly someday. You know, have
Hmm.
you thought about that
I
recently, or have you
oh
changed
yeah, I
your
do.
choice?
No, my choice is still the same. It's the Grand Canyon. We live a little over an hour away from the Grand Canyon, and it's such a beautiful, majestic place. And I would love to be able to fly the drone over it. We take our airplane over the Grand Canyon. There are corridors that you can fly through at 11,000 feet ish, depending on where you are, and you're basically right on top of this gigantic 40-mile across hull, and it's impressive. It's so
Yeah.
impressive. I think a
Oh,
lot of people don't realize how wide the Grand Canyon is. It's 200 and some miles wide. It goes all the way from Page, Arizona, all the way to Las Vegas, pretty much, and it's just this gigantic hole in the ground. But so many different areas look different. So when we get to fly over that, I'm always super excited about it. And then flying a drone there would be cool, but I don't know what kind of people you need to know to do that, but I haven't found them yet. So if we ever do,
yeah.
I will we'll have a cool legal video of flying over the Grand Canyon, but we'll see.
I totally agree with you about the Grand Canyon. It is such an awesome place. It really is. I had went out to Vegas quite a few years ago with my wife, and I had suggested to her to take a helicopter ride to the Grand Canyon, and to my surprise, she agreed. And we did. And that is one of the most memorable trips that I've ever had,
Oh, I bet.
flying a helicopter into the Grand Canyon.
Yep. Oh, it's
So,
impressive. And going down, so I go down every once in a while hiking, going down to the bottom and coming back up, and that really puts it in perspective how big this thing is.
Bob Dempsey has a question for you, Greg.
How much of Sedona can you fly? A lot in Sedona. So let me give you a little bit of background about
Hmm.
Sedona because uh, people think it's more restricted than it is, and there's a reason for it. A few years ago, there was an airport manager in Sedona that was anti-drone, really, really anti-drone. So they put a bunch of signs all over the city saying that drones were not allowed to fly, and they were
Oh, really?
incorrect. They were illegal. They were illegal restrictions of flying drones there. There's two things you need to look for when you fly in Sedona is wilderness areas because there's quite a few of these around. So don't fly to and from a wilderness area, but also personally, I don't like to fly into a wilderness area, although technically it is
Okay.
legal to do so. Um, and then be careful with helicopters because there are quite a few tour helicopters that are
Tourist.
flying
Yeah.
around. So yeah, keep an eye for those. The airport in itself is an uncontrolled airport. I fly there with our airplane because it's a beautiful. They
Hmm.
call it the aircraft carrier. The runway is on top of this. Tall rock and it's a plateau on top and that's where the runway is located, so
Oh,
when you
wow.
come into land there's a gap on one side and there's a gap on the other side and there's a gap on each side of the runway as well, so if you mess up it's not a good day. uh,
No.
but
Mm-mm.
it's an uncontrolled airport, so you don't need approval technically to fly there, but just be careful with other traffic. It's a busy airport. A lot of jets fly into Sedona because it's
Yeah.
definitely a destination place. But otherwise, beautiful places all around. And if I can recommend one place, there's a road called Schneeble Road,
Hmm.
and it goes a little bit out of town. You need to have a bit of a four-wheel drive to get in there because it's pretty broken up, but if you can get in there, there's a couple trails. There's a trail called Hangover that you can get
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what happened here. All right. But anyway, Sedona. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. He froze up. But anyway, that's okay. Maybe now if I remove him and bring him back in, will that free him up? Let's see. Nope, he's gonna have to come back in on himself. Okay. But anyway, that's interesting. The way Greg was talking about flying out there, and he's very, very knowledgeable in the whole area, obviously. And again, when I went to the Grand Canyon, I mean, I got the picture somewheres here, but it was just so memorable when I was out there flying. Um, so I don't know what happened to Greg. He froze up. I tried to remove him and bring him back in, and now he's gone. So I apologize, guys. Yep, that okay. They're having an internet issue out there, but that's okay. He'll be back, and yep, he's back already. Look at that. Hey, Greg.
all right.
All right.
Can I get the display, Ethan, on the screen as well?
So anyway, you were talking about Sedona, and a lot of people were very, very interested in flying out there. So that was good.
Not headphones anymore.
Hey, we got Al. Al's in the chat. How you doing, Al? Good to see you. How you doing, Greg? Good. We got good audio yet? No,
Okay.
I
Sorry
can
about
hear
that.
you. Nope, that's good.
Right. Yep. We're back. Sorry, we have a complicated system because I'm not talking to you from a computer. I'm talking to you from the camera, which is right here, and then the microphone is right here, and it's a whole complicated thing. So we're back.
No, I know you're much sophisticated than my little setup right here.
Yeah, sometimes simpler is easier, but this gives us the best quality. So sorry about that.
Yeah. No, no. But yeah, it looks like it's so cool to fly out in Arizona. Really, it does.
Tons of places, lots of beautiful landscape all around, and a lot of open space, quite frankly, to fly. Out west is so much more open than the East Coast, just because we have fewer people. So I think 20% of the population lives out west compared to east of the Mississippi. So we've got a lot of open space.
Yeah, yeah. We got Dre in the house. How you doing, Dre? Good to see you. And I talked about you earlier, Ronnie. How you doing? Good to see you. And say hello to call her if she's there. Or yeah, and Dre is so knowledgeable too. I don't know if you've met him, but I had the pleasure of meeting Dre Crawford out in California when I went to visit my son, and we had a little meetup and down at Dana Point. Have you ever been to Dana Point Harbor? Really,
Nope.
really nice area.
I
And
haven't spent a whole lot of time in California other than San Diego. I had a marathon there once and visited, but otherwise not a whole lot of time there.
yeah, I want to go back. I really do. And we are going back. We're going out there in July to visit our son.
Awesome.
So, hey, Alexis, how you doing? Good to see you. Yep. Actually, we're going to. You ever hear the Tesla takeover?
Uh-uh.
It's a big Tesla event that they have in California. I'm sure Billy Kyle will be there.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
But my son is a big Tesla guy. So.
I have one too, so I probably should
Oh,
put it
you
on
do too?
my calendar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a 2018, and him and his wife just traded it in, and they got 2024 Teslas. So.
Wow, very nice. Yeah, mine is an older model, 2015 Model
Oh,
S.
so you were into it way back when too.
Yeah, I didn't buy it from the beginning, but I have had it for 4 years, 5 years now. So yeah, I've been driving that around. I love it. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah, I took one for a test ride about 3 weeks ago, actually.
That's dangerous.
I know it is. It really is. They were offering that deal with the financing. I mean, it was crazy. What, 0.09, if I remember right?
Wow. Yeah,
But it
that's hard to
ended. It
pass.
ended May 31st, so it's gone, guy. But anyway, Greg, I want to say thank you. You are really an interesting guest. Is there anything else you want to cover? Like maybe talk about your 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 real pilot course or any
Yeah.
other courses? Yep.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we have 2 courses on the drone side that we just released this week. We have a course on LiDAR. So we've had 3 courses on mapping. We added a 4th chapter, if you want to call it that has LiDAR. I don't teach the course, but Jared Janasek, he teaches it. He
Okay.
does mapping and LiDAR in Texas, and he's a great teacher. And so that's one. And then we just released, actually either today or tomorrow, I don't even know if it's live yet, but we have a course on search and rescue. And a lot of people have been asking us about search and rescue.
Yeah. Right.
So we spend time with Cal Nordforce. He's in Utah with the Weber County search and rescue team. And
Okay.
he's the instructor for that course. And this is actually probably one of the best courses we've done in the last few years, as far as visual and as
Nice.
far as content. So he explains everything on how to use drones in a search and rescue environment. We get questions every week of people saying, how do I get into search and rescue? So finally we got with the professionals and asked them how to use them. We went to Utah a couple of weeks ago and we did a fake search and rescue. So you'll see in the course, we have a video coming up, I think,
good.
on Monday on the YouTube channel. So if you're on the YouTube
Oh.
channel, we have a video showing basically from start to finish what a search and rescue situation looks like and how the drones are being used and how they're saving lives, which is really the bottom line. How can people go out there, help their local search and rescue, save lives, and just give drones a good reputation, which we need.
Drones were good, and
Drones were
that's good. It really is. Hey, we got TJ. TJ Gray, he's watching. How you doing? He's in North Carolina, Greg. Good to see you, TJ. But I tell you, Greg, again, thank you so much for sponsoring the South Florida Drone Meetup. Thank you for being on my show tonight. And thank you all in the chat for watching. The hour goes by so quick. It really does. So, again, if you're not subscribed to Pilot Institute, do it now. If you're thinking about getting your Part 107, do it through Pilot Institute, pilotinstitute.com, right, Greg?
Absolutely.
But anyway, guys, we'll see you again next week. Next week, I got Bob Dempsey and Tom Dowling. They're going to be on. They're going to be talking about the Vegas drone meet. So
awesome. 2 great guys as well.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night. Fly for fun, but most importantly, fly safe.